Well, now that you're all buttered up, this is a nice place. Down here, I feel like you can tell whether or not a place is nice in Grass Valley when someone immediately tells you how many people died in that road. You're like, oh, this is a cool little spot down here. And they're like, oh, you like it? It's super haunted. That's when you know you're in the nice spot. It's June. It's a big month. A lot of stuff happens. Right? Juneteenth and Father's Day, same month. One of them is like a celebrated holiday, and the other one is a note on a calendar you have to look up. You know what Juneteenth is? Okay, Juneteenth is the day of the year that we celebrate, or at least remember, when enslaved people in Texas were told that slavery had ended a year and a half after it actually happened. That's a big moment. And then Father's Day is a day where we just generally think about the concept of dads. And they don't seem to have the same sense of gravity, because like one was a major historical turning point and the other one occasionally came to my youth soccer games. That doesn't feel proportional. And yet here we are. I know it's not, yeah, right. It's not fashionable these days, but like I have a dad. Do you guys have dads? Is this a dad? Is this a dad room or a non-dad room? Huh? Test. Papa? It's like a guy in a lab coat. No, dads are all right. I feel like my relationship with my dad is very similar to. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you'd have this experience, but do you ever have like a childhood bully? And then you know, they torment you when you're a young person, and then you kind of go to a different middle school, a different high school, and then many years later, when you return to your hometown, you're like having a drink in a bar to get out of whatever family thing you're doing, and like you run into, you know, you strike up a conversation with some stranger, kind of hit it off. Turns out, same guy, right? And like now you're cool with each other. Because that I feel like that is my relationship with my dad. Because like when I was a little kid, he'd be like, "You broke the plates!" And like now we do woodworking. It's tight as hell. We read like history books and shit. It's a totally different relationship. And I like that it has a sense of progress. Because I feel like there are things that I got from my dad that I don't know I could have gotten from anybody else. He once said something really profound. I think he came up with it. He was like, you know, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Pretty sure that's from the Bible. He was a deep guy. He is a deep guy. He's around. I'm going to see him on Sunday. But like, no, he told me that, and I thought about it for a long time because it seems like good advice off the top. And I didn't know what to do in my life for a long time. I drifted and I thought. I worked a lot of jobs. I did a lot of things. Lived in a lot of states. Kind of bummed around different places. And I try to every now and then check in with myself and see what is it that I love about what I'm doing. What can I do that I love? And the more jobs that I worked and the more places I was, I realized that there was one thing that I loved above all other things, and it's crime. I love committing crimes. I like watching movies about people who commit crimes. I like listening to podcasts about people who commit crimes. Right? That's what I'm saying. Because like, you know, I don't know. Like every job I ever had, every job, I worked a lot of restaurants. Every job I ever had, the best part of my job, stealing from work. Obvious high point. It's where a lot of stuff comes from, if you've ever done it. Have you ever lived in a house with margarita glasses in it? You stole those from work. If you ever owned a ramekin, you can buy it in a store. That's where that shit comes from.
Ramekins.
That's what I'm saying. Stealing a ramekin from work is a rite of passage. It's goddamn America is what it is. I found that I loved crimes. So I thought, how do I apply this to my day-to-day? And I thought about it really hard. I studied and studied and studied. I went to a lot of different schools, and I took a lot of different tests, and I became a criminal defense attorney. That's true. It's the public defender, actually. The district attorney is the bad guy in the story. But yeah, I did that. That's what I do for money now. And it's a huge disappointment. Because it turns out being a criminal defense attorney is only crime adjacent. It's not quite, you don't get to actually do the stuff. You just get to do the paperwork afterwards. And it's not nearly as much fun. Worst part about it is, there's nothing good to steal at work. Like 3 months in, I had enough pens and printer paper to last like 2 apocalypses. And that's it. There's nothing to take. It's not quite as rewarding as I thought. I do really enjoy what I do, though. It's cool. I feel like I come from a community of people who would go to jail a lot. Willie and I have quite a bit in common. Background-wise, the only 2 things is that Willie is doing it wrong. It's not as bad as it looks. I'll give you some pointers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a callback. You see what I'm saying? No, that's not what's funny. It's true. It's like I had a long time. I did a lot of weird stuff. Knew a lot of people that were in and out of jails. In and out of drugs and that sort of thing. And I feel like my community, my heart, is with heroin users. Everyone I knew growing up became a heroin user. You know what I mean? All my good friends died from heroin. That's the thing. That was the central thing because everybody cool did heroin. Kurt Cobain did heroin. Look at me now. But Jimi Hendrix did heroin, right? Janis Joplin did heroin. Everybody fucking cool did heroin. Lou Reed did heroin. Huh? Willie did heroin. Coolest guy in town. Yeah. Well, then I came here and I started doing criminal defense work, and I found out heroin, not the most popular game in town. Here in town, it's meth.
Yeah.
And I was worried. Yeah, that's true. People, it's very popular. Let me be real with you. That many people may be onto something. But they love it. Right? But that was the whole thing, right? Like, I didn't know necessarily how to relate to like a rural meth-using population since I was a part of the erudite city heroin users. Populating the jazz clubs and whatnot. But then it turns out meth users are just completely mopping the floor with heroin users when it comes to good stories. Just annihilating them. And the whole time I thought it was all very, so cool, so sophisticated, and then, but it's like, when you think about, what's a heroin user's story? Like, I had to fight in a war, and then I got an injury, and I came home, and a doctor gave me some pills, and now here I am. That's not funny. Have you heard a meth user's story about their day? It's completely psychotic. They're like, I guess I started my day 3 days ago. I went to the hardware store, I went to the grow supply store, I was riding a children's bike on 49. I would have taken surface streets, but I thought it would be faster for the goat. That's a good fucking story. It's very true. Crime brings people together. I don't know, man. It's June. It's Pride Month. They put up. There you go. It's a good thing. They put up a bunch of flags in Nevada City, and you'll never guess who's mad about it. The other flag people. Who will speak out about this flag-on-flag violence? You know what I mean? Yeah. I can just imagine that they're driving around with their trucks like, being like, hey, that's our thing. my thing. But it gave me some insight when I found out they were so pissed about it, because I all the time I see that flag that said "fuck your feelings."
Yeah.
And I always thought it was talking to me on account of my like radical leftist beliefs. But it turns out that's a kind of self-talk. People get real charged up about flags. They see the wrong one. They're like, "No, Mike, no. Fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings." Straight to the message. I'm just saying, it's a big month. We pack a lot of stuff in June. I got a cat recently. Thank you. No, that's how I feel. I got a cat. I had a cat. No, wait till. Sure. Background story is I had a cat. I had a cat for 17 years, and I was very, very close to that cat. I love that cat very, very much. And she got cancer. It was slow, and we spent a lot of time together. And she passed away. It took a long time until I felt like, I was ready to. But then one day I was. And I got this little tiny kitten, and I invited it into my life, and I couldn't be happier about it, except I didn't have a name. I figured, oh, it'll come to me. You know what I mean? Whatever the name is. It'll just present itself. But that's not how it works. So I've been looking at the cat, being like, for like several days. So I started calling my friends that have little kids, because little kids have great names for things. If you ever known a little kid, they're like the go-to for naming anything. You want to name a car, you want to name like, your lake house or whatever, some little kid's gonna have a dope name for it.
100.
Yeah, right? Well, so I asked my friends with little kids, and then they were giving me pretty solid names for the cat. It's a black cat, they're like Midnight, or like Moonshadow. And I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good. But it's the name of, that a little kid would give a cat. And I am a childless adult man who lives alone with a little cat. And I thought it would be maybe like a bridge too far to name it the name a child would give it. You know what I mean? Like, that says something weird about you. Like, just living alone with the cat is like enough. You know what I mean? So I thought, like, I should figure out something that reflects who I am. I should form my relationship with my cat by imbuing it with this name. It's this gift I'm going to give. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about what's most important to me, and then I realized I have a name for my cat. I've had it all along. It's Crimes. This is not a joke. I named that cat Lil Crimes. Thank you. I have one person to thank for it. It's my dad. He gave me my love of criminality and non-fiction history novels about presidents. You guys, thank you so much.